Hey guys, this is Leila Shaver with My RA Lawyer, and I want to talk to you breakaways. That's right. So if you are thinking about breaking away from your firm, I'm sure you have a ton of questions because I get a lot of them all the time. So I want to talk to you today about are the contracts that you're subject to and that you need to know about before you make the jump. So let's talk about contracts in general. You could have an IAR agreement, registered rep agreement, insurance agent agreement. You could have addendums to those agreements that you've signed over time. So you want to make sure that you're getting a copy of those documents. And then there are a few things that you need to review those documents for to really give you an understanding of what you can and cannot do before, during, and after you jump. So what are some of the provisions that you should be on the lookout for? You want to be on the lookout for a non-solicit provision. This provision tells you who and what you can solicit or not solicit after you leave. You also want to look at whether you are subject to any sort of non-compete. This will generally limit the time frame, geographical location of where you can set up your own firm and compete with your former firm. You want to look at whether there's any language in the contracts about not recruiting. So especially for those of you who are part of a group of advisors or a team, and you're looking to bring over other advisors or administrative staff with you, you want to look at whether or not your contract has any sort of prohibition on recruiting these people over. You want to look at whether there's any information in your contract about the book of business you brought to the firm. That's right. If you showed up to your firm's doorsteps with your own book of business, you want to make sure that your contract has some sort of language in it or carve out where that legacy book of business is yours and not theirs. And yes, I have seen contracts where a firm said any business you bring over is ours, not yours. So make sure you review your contracts to see if there's anything in there about your legacy book of business. You want to look at how the contracts define confidential information. Many contracts identify client lists, prospective client lists, anything that came in through the firm, regardless of its origination. So even if you're the originator, and identifies that as the firm's confidential information. Well, if that's the firm's confidential information, baby, you can't take it. So look in your contract to see if there's anything in there about how they define confidential and proprietary information. In terms of any dispute you may have under the contract, you want to look at what jurisdiction and venue governs the contract. So if you want to fight against your firm under the contract, you have to go file in your local court system. Do you go to arbitration? Is arbitration done with FINRA? Is it done with JAMS? Is it done with AAA? Where would the dispute have to be heard? Will it be heard in your hometown, or will you have to travel across the country for any hearing? So you want to look at jurisdiction and venue that governs those contracts. Finally, you want to look at what is the remedy. So if there is a dispute under these contracts, what is the remedy available to the firm and what is the remedy available to you as the advisor? So if there is a dispute, would you be responsible for attorney's fees? Is there a calculation discussed as to how they put a value on the part of the book of business in dispute? You want to make sure you understand this information. So if you're headed into a dispute with your former firm, you have an idea of how much it may cost you. So breaking away, it's sexy, you're excited, you want to move away and go someplace with more freedom and for you to service your clients the way you want to. But before you make the jump, make sure you're properly educated and know what is controlling you in these contracts. And if you have any questions about what it means, what those contracts are saying, and how it applies to you, give us a call today, 770-462-2118.